Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy, Bengaluru. This is daily news analysis session. In this session, we'll be discussing some 5 to 6 important articles which are very significant from UPSC prelims, mains as well as interview perspective. So, the first article for the day, that is 16th January 2025, is from the Hindu, which talks about Pavana River. Okay, it is in news because the NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, recently directed the state appointed rejuvenation committee to convene a meeting of stakeholders to set a new timeline for implementing the action plan that would tackle pollution in the Pavana River. Okay, so simply put, NGT has appointed a rejuvenation committee so that it can implement a new timeline so that the pollution can be mitigated in Pavana River. So, Pavana River is present in Maharashtra, mainly passes through district of Pune, and it divides Pune city and Pimpri Chinchwad area. It originates in Western Ghats, around 6 kilometers south of Lonavala, which is a very famous hill station and tourist place in Maharashtra. It initially flows eastward and then later turns to southward. It passes through Dehu, Chinchwad, Pimpri and Dapodi. These are the areas in Maharashtra. It then confluences with Mula River near Pune city. Okay, and the drainage system is, so Pavana River confluences with Mula River in Pune. From there, Mula River merges with Mutta River, forming Mula Mutta River, which eventually drains into Bhima River in Karnataka, which Bhima itself is a tributary of Krishna River. So, in a short way, Pavan River is a tributary of Bhima or tributary of Krishna River. So, the key features of the river is, it is around 60 km in length. It is a small one, small river, but it is significant because it passes through a significant city such as Pune. There is a dam also called as Pavan Nagar Dam. It is a earth-fill gravity dam, not a large dam. So no need of remembering these capacities. So the purpose of the dam is provides drinking water to Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad. It supports the supply to nearby localities. Okay, that is it becomes important. So presently it is going through environmental concerns. A significant issue affecting the river's health is the pollution. So in order to address this, NGT directed a state appointed rejuvenation committee to review the action plan for pollution mitigation. So stakeholder meeting is, there will be a new meeting. In this meeting, new timeline will be set for implementation of the rejuvenation committee's recommendations. Okay. So simply what you have to remember is Pavana, Pune, Maharashtra, tributary of Krishna River or Bhima River or Mula River. So second article, it is from the Hindu, which is an editorial which talks about the red flag as China's expansionist strategy rolls on. This article analyzes China's expansionist policies in the border between India and China and its impact on neighboring countries of China as well as India, and its aggression with respect to river disputes, its aggression with respect to construction dams on the rivers and other various issues. So China's expansionist actions along the India-China border. Recently, China has announced the construction of dam on the Yarlung Zangpo River or Yarlung Tsangpo River, which is called as Brahmaputra in India, and creation of 2 new counties in northeastern Ladakh. Okay, this is so. Okay, we'll understand the impact. So, what is the India's response? India has condemned these actions as illegitimate, illegal, and it is a direct threat to India's sovereignty, signaling increased unpredictability in China's regional approach. Okay, so India, as usual, has condemned the actions only. So we have to wait and see what will be the retaliatory action from India. And with respect to transboundary water disputes, what will be the impact on India and neighboring states? That the Yarlung Tsangpo is the upper riparian river of Brahmaputra. If they are constructing a dam, what will be its impacts on the lower riparian states such as India and Bangladesh? The Chinese dam could reduce the water and silt flow downstream, affecting agriculture, fisheries and biodiversity in India as well as Bangladesh. And there is also uncontrolled water release during the monsoon seasons could lead to a devastating floods in India. Okay, in every monsoons, every monsoons we all the time see the floods in Assam due to Brahmaputra. Okay, it already carries so much of water from the Himalayan rivers. It already leads to so many floods. Now imagine the release of huge water from the dam. It will have a devastating impact on the lower riparian states such as India and Bangladesh. Okay, which can turn into a huge issue in the future. So India's countermeasures have been India is expediting its own hydropower projects, including construction of toll stations in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, these toll stations in Arunachal Pradesh are aimed at providing hydropower projects as well as controlling the flow of Yarlung Tsangpo or the like water release from the Yarlung Tsangpo dam, which is constructed by China. Then, along with the water disputes, there is also Chinese aggression on the border disputes as well as cartographic aggression. What is cartography? Cartography is nothing but map writing. Okay, drawing the map. Cartography is a map. What is cartographic aggression? That is changing the map. Changing the map or the names without any consensus. Okay, so here China continues its strategy of asserting control over the disputed territories, including actions like renaming the locations in Arunachal Pradesh and creating administrative regions in the disputed areas. Okay, these tactics not only escalate tensions with India but also involve other South Asian nations like Nepal and Bhutan. China is also repeating the same thing with Nepal and Bhutan. This word cartography aggression is very important. You can use that in any of your international relations answers or in your interview also. You can also give the example of Nepal in cartographic aggression. What did the Nepal do? Nepal over the Kalapani dispute has changed the map with India unilaterally. It extended its territory into India without the consensus of India there. Okay, that is cartographic aggression. Then, what are this is a legal challenge to sovereignty of India. That is, China's actions lack legitimacy. That is, under international laws, actions like cartographic aggression and building settlements in disputed territories are ineffective in establishing sovereignty. Okay, just because you are changing names in another country's territory doesn't mean that you own the territory. So international law doesn't recognize these activities. However, there are complications to India. That is, if or China's physical presence in the contested regions could lead to long-term issues. Okay, just changing the names won't be an issue in the long term, but the China's physical aggression or physical presence, that is army in those regions, is going to be a long-term issue. Then, the role of South Asia in countering China. That is India's leadership role. That is, as the dominant regional power, what should be the way forward in the sense? As a regional power, India must lead a collective response to China's aggressive tactics. There is a need for regional cooperation. Unlike Southeast Asian nations that use multilateral frameworks like ASEAN, South Asian nations address China bilaterally, which is leading to power imbalances. Okay, Southeast Asian countries such as Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, etc., on their own don't have that much of a leverage with respect to China, but all of them put together, all the 10 ASEAN countries put together, have a leverage compared to what the individual country holds. Similarly, South Asian nations, if they act as a unity, okay, if they act as a single regional cooperation such as SAARC, then they will have a higher bargaining power with respect to China compared to what an individual state has. So there is a call for unity. That is, there should be a unified regional approach involving diplomatic engagements, institutional reforms, and shared strategies is crucial for countering influence effectively. Okay, so individual condemnation, individual actions are not going to be very effective against a huge power such as China. So there should be a regional cooperation, there should be unity among the South Asian countries so that they can effectively counter China. Then third article is about Bhargavastra, which is India's indigenous micro-missile system, which has been recently tested successfully. So the purpose is to counter the threat of swarm drones. Okay, we'll see what are swarm drones. Swarm drones are unmanned aerial vehicles which are used to mount an attack. The swarm drones are very small in nature. They can be used together at least from 3 to 1000. Okay, 3 to 1000 drones are used together to mount an attack, or they can also be used for various other scientific purposes also. So developer of this Bhargavastra is Economic Explosive Limited, not the DRDO. Okay, that is a major key feature here. The key features of Bhargavastra is it can engage targets of 2.5 km, designed for quick deployment on mobile platforms, detection engagement capabilities, that it can detect small flying machines, that is drone, from a distance of 6 km. It also fires micro munitions guided towards the threat, that is guided towards the drones. And firepower is capable of simultaneously firing more than 64 micro missiles. Then it operates across all terrains including high altitude areas, so it has higher adaptability. It is mainly tailored for army air defense equipments, so requirements, that is air force which is serving the purpose of army are called as army air defense. Significance is it is India's first indigenous counter drone system using micro missiles, enhances India's defense against unmanned aerial threats. Okay, then what are swarm drones then? Swarm is a short form for Smart War Fighting Array of reconfigured modules. So it basically works on the principle of coordination, that is the coordination between 3 to 1000 drones to perform a task cooperatively. Requires a minimal human intervention or control, so they are most of the times automated to work together in a coordination. Application or in civil, it is your civil uses, it is used for fire management, wildfire management, damage assessment, firefighting. Okay, these swarm drones are also used in displays. For example, recently China in Chinese New Year used the swarm drones to provide a virtual reality kind of thing in the sky. Okay, in military use, they are used for reconnaissance, attack missions, overwhelming enemy defenses. Recently, like a year back, this method was used by Houthi rebels. Houthi rebels to attack. Okay, Houthi rebels to mount an attack on Saudi Arabian Aramco oil company. Okay, so this like drone method has also been used by Pakistan terrorist organizations to mount an attack in India, but they haven't been very successful in that regard. So what are the advantages of drone swarms? So it are very efficiency, there is very efficient, that is parallel task completion without human supervision, so are very quick and efficient. Enhanced functionality through synchronized action, so there is a robustness. The key technology of this swarm drones is there is advanced computer algorithms which is going to direct their movement. Like local sensing and communication technologies are adopted in these drones. So command methods, there are programmed missions with predefined paths. They have to follow particular path which are programmed in missions in advanced computer algorithms. Then there is centralized control via ground test stations or a single drone which is used for communication technologies. Then distributed control through collaboration and shared data among the drones. Okay, so this is about swarm drones. Then what is the importance of this Bhargavastra? So it provides a defensive edge, that is it provides India with a cutting edge solution to neutralize swarm drone threats, strengthens Make in India initiative in defense technology. Okay, it can also be used to improve exports of Indian defenses. Then enhances operational readiness, particularly in high threat zones. So it provides a battlefield readiness. Okay, this is about Bhargavastra. Then fourth article is about National Bureau of Fish Genetic Resources. Okay, don't confuse it with National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, that is different, this is different. This NBFGR was established in 1983 in Allahabad under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. It has a permanent infrastructure in Lucknow Uttar Pradesh, which was developed in 1999. The mission and vision is, its objectives are assessment and conservation of fish genetic resources, protection of intellectual property rights with respect to fish genetic resources, stabilize sustainable utilization for future generations, so that the utilization of present doesn't compromise the needs of future. Then focus areas are, it focuses on identification, documentation, and conservation of fish genetic diversity. It maintaining healthy and sustainable fish populations. Capabilities and strategies are, modern facilities include advanced infrastructure for genetic research, technological focus that database development, genotyping and registration of aquatic germplasm, gene banking for preserving fish species, evaluation of endangered and exotic fish species. All these works are taken up by uh, the National Bureau for Fish Genetic Resources. What is aquaculture? So definition: for propagation and husbandry, that is cultivation of aquatic organisms, plants, animals and others for commercial, that is seafood production, recreational. In aquaculture, it focuses on cultivation of aquatic organisms. Within that, there are three main purposes. One is commercial, for seafood production; for recreational, that is sport fishing and ornamental fish trade; and scientific, that is research and conservative purposes. Okay. Then types of aquaculture are marine aquaculture and freshwater. Marine in the sense where you try to cultivate or culture the species, marine species such as shrimp, shellfish, finfish in coastal and ocean waters. Whereas freshwater, here you focus on freshwater species like catfish, tilapia, and carps in ponds, lakes, and tanks. Importance is, like aquaculture is one of the fastest growing food production sectors globally. It supplies over 50% of seafood consumed by humans worldwide. Global scenarios: major producers are, China dominates the global aquaculture with 60% of the framed seafood. Indonesia, India, and Vietnam are the other leaders. Can occur in coastal waters, freshwater, land, etc., etc., depending on the type of aquaculture. Relevance of National Bureau for Plant Genetic Resources in training programs is training 100 tribal persons in Pulicat region on pearl spot culture, crab fattening, clownfish aquaculture. Significance is that it promotes sustainable aquaculture practices, improving livelihoods while conserving aquatic biodiversity. Okay. Then next article is about zombie deer disease. What is the zombie deer disease and why it is in news? That scientists have expressed concerns over the possibility of deadly and incurable zombie deer disease affecting humans. Okay, there is a recent debate that this zombie deer disease can affect human beings also. So what is this zombie deer disease? It is scientifically known as chronic wasting disease, which is a progressive and fatal neurological disease which primarily affects deer species such as deer, elk, moose, and reindeers. Okay, it is a progressive and fatal neurological disease. That is, once it affects your neurological process, it starts progressively affecting your neurological system more and more. What causes chronic wasting disease? It is caused by infectious proteins called prions. Prions are misfolded proteins that cause other proteins in brains to likewise misfold, ultimately leading to brain damage. What is this for misfolding? Okay, what is this prions? Prions are infectious proteins that are called prions. Similar thing, there is virions. Virions are virus, like similar to proteins present in viruses. Okay, so prions are infectious proteins. What is this folding? DNA, RNA, protein, amino acid. Okay, so in our body, when we are converting DNA to RNA, there is a process called as transcription. Okay, once you transcription or once you like decipher the transcription, that DNA converts into RNA. From RNA to protein, there is a process called as translation. Okay, from protein to amino acid, the process is called as folding. Okay, whenever the folding process happens properly, then the protein is going to be good protein and it has a expression on our body. But when the folding is improper, when there is a misfolding, then it is going to cause damage to wherever the proteins are present. In this case, these misfolded proteins are present in the brain. As a result, it is resulting in brain damage. Okay. Once these proteins accumulate in brains, they create spongy holes in the tissue, resulting in severe neurological dysfunction. Okay. So how is this common with chronic wasting disease transmitted? It is CWD prions are highly contagious and spread through body fluids such as saliva, feces, blood or urine, either by direct contact or environmental contamination. Okay, so prions are misfolded proteins. Don't confuse it with virus, bacteria, etc., etc. Once present in an area, prions remain infectious in soil, water, and plants for years, posing long-term risks to animal populations. Now, what are the symptoms? So, there is an incubation period of averaging 18 to 24 months between infection and the onset of noticeable signs. During this time frame, animals look and act normal. The most obvious sign of chronic wasting disease is the progressive weight loss. Animals start losing their weight. Numerous behavioral changes have also been reported, such as decreased social interaction, loss of awareness, and loss of fear of humans. Okay, their neurological system starts deteriorating. Okay, they don't take decisions as they would in a normal outcome. Then, diseased animals may also exhibit increased drinking, urination, and excessive salivation. Okay, similar to what can be seen in rabies, how there is excessive salivation. The treatment is, it is a fatal disease. It is always fatal. That is 100% fatality is then CWD, and there is no vaccine or treatment. So very similar to rabies in this aspect. So the question is, can humans get chronic wasting disease? So far, there has been no confirmed case of CWD transmission to humans. However, experts remain cautious that there can be possibilities. So there is a movie that is Train to Busan, which is a movie based on zombie apocalypse. Okay, apocalypse, which is a Korean movie. There is a similar thing. There will be a deer which is affected with CWD, and that deer dies and becomes a zombie, and then it is transmitted, something like that. Okay, I don't want to spoil the movie for you. You can watch this movie whenever you are free. Very good movie. Okay, so next, the sixth article is about Shikari Devi Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, location Mandi district in Himachal Pradesh. Geography, it is nestled in the foothills of Himalaya at an altitude range of 1800 to 3400 meter, transitioning from pine forest to alpine meadows. So it has a total of 7 types of forest ecosystem there. It is a sacred significance because the Shikari Devi Wildlife Sanctuary is named after a goddess called as Shikari Devi. What is Shikari? Shikari is hunting. So goddess of hunting. Then it features a temple dedicated to this goddess, which is located at an altitude of 2850 meters amidst snow-capped mountains and dense pine trees. History is, it was declared as a wildlife sanctuary in 1962. It is around 7,202 hectares. Flora is diverse. There is a very diverse flora. That is 7 forest types are found there, from alpine pastures, subalpine forest, moist temperate deciduous forest, West Himalayan oak forest, Kharsu oak forest, western mixed coniferous forest, Ban oak forest, etc., etc. In fauna, mammals such as goral, Himalayan black bear, barking deer, musk deer, cat leopard, common langur, snow leopard, Kashmiri flying squirrel, Himalayan palm civet, marten, Indian porcupine, etc. found there. Very unique flora and fauna is present there. So very significant. And in birds, monal bird, which is the state animal of Himachal Pradesh, is also found there. Recently, it is in news because the area has been declaring as eco-sensitive zone. So what is the need of eco-sensitive zone? To mitigate the impact of urbanization and developmental activities on the sanctuary. So this creates a buffer zone to protect biodiversity and maintain ecological balance. Okay, so that the urbanization is not transitioned into this wildlife sanctuary. Next, final article, it is from the Hindu editorial, which talks about OYO's change in policy and its implications. Okay, so Oyo is a hoteliering company which became very famous for its ease of access and its cheap cost, and also like less stringent implications. Okay, less stringent rules for the, like unmarried, married, friends, etc. Anyone could access these hotels. That is, it became very significant, and also the time period was very less. It is like 2 hours, 3 hours, etc., etc. Anytime. So very flexible. But now there is a new change in policy, especially in Uttar Pradesh. Recently, Oyo announced that unmarried couples will be denied access to their services unless they provide a valid proof of relationship. Okay, this is policy here. So implementation scope, it will be implemented initially limited to Uttar Pradesh. The policy may expand encouraging discrimination based on marital status. So here you are discriminating people based on their marital status. You are discriminating the people into access to hotels based on their marital status. So the articles try to provide constitutional context and individual rights. And what is the constitutional validity of this policy? First and foremost is there is a right to privacy and autonomy under Article 21. Article 21 is right to life and liberty, which is a vast and broader natured right, fundamental right, which covers right to privacy and autonomy. It recognizes right to make personal choices, that is autonomy, including engaging in consensual relationships and cohabitation. Okay, so the rights are already provided in the constitution. Then judiciary also has set certain precedents, that is in Shafin Jahan versus Ashok KM 2020 case, court affirmed the right of individuals to choose their own partners. Okay, it need not to be following a particular religion, it not to be from a particular caste. Every individual has a right to choose their own partners. Then Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of in 2018 case upheld the validity of individual rights in intimate relationships. This case is also very famous for LGBTQ rights. So here the court said that there is a progressive realization of rights. That is, once the rights have been upheld by the court, they cannot be taken away subsequently by the court parliamentary legislation. Then, what are the challenges of enforcing fundamental rights here? Because there is a distinction between horizontal versus vertical application. That is, constitutional rights are primarily enforceable against the state, that is vertical, but not against the private entities, that is horizontal. Okay, because constitutional rights are provided with certain reasonable restrictions, and when there is a violation of these constitutional rights, there is a recourse present in Article 32 against the states, but there are very few articles which have protection against the private entities also. Okay, then under Article 15 clause 2 prevents discrimination on the grounds of race, religion, caste, sex, place of birth. However, it does not explicitly address marital status, so they are not violating any right to equality here. That is the argument who are supporting Oyo's decision. What will be the potential legal redress and concerns here? There are scope for remedies, that is, while legal recourse under Article 21 exists, judicial clarity and enforcing rights against private actors remain limited. Okay, judiciary has a clarity in enforcing rights against the public institution, that is the state, but against private actors remains limited. Then precedent in the Kaushal Kishore case, that the court expanded the horizontal application, that is horizontal application in sense application in private entities, application of rights, but left ambiguities on its implementation for marital status and discrimination. Okay, so there is still ambiguity over discrimination based on marital status. So what will be the broader implication for society? That is, there will be a what you say, Pandora box opening. That is, once one starts following, then the rest also starts following. That is Pandora box implication. So there will be discrimination based beyond unmarried couples. That is, similar policies could affect broader societal access to services, including housing, renting, employment, based on personal choice of marital status. Okay, once a person or a company starts implementing these kind of policies, that can also be followed by different sectors like housing, employment, based on personal marital status. Okay, that sets a negative precedent to society. Then there is a risk of majority influence, that is, these restrictive policies may reflect societal biases rather than legal principles, undermining the individual freedoms. Okay, this particular aspect, that is restriction based on the marital status is in line with the majoritarian principle. That is, in Uttar Pradesh, majoritarian is Hindu population or conservative Hindus and conservative Muslim population. They were the ones who started demanding for this policies that banning or not access, not allowing the unmarried couples into OA hotels. Okay, so it is mainly a majoritarian policy rather than based on the constitutional equality or constitutional validity. Okay, so we have to wait and see what will be the principles. So there have been some very important points provided in this article. You can now make the note of it. So this ends our discussion. For more videos like this, please hit the like button, comment on it, and share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.